Check, testing. Alright, good evening everyone and welcome back to F1 Total for the 8th round of Season 11 here in Division 1. We are here at the USA International Circuit in Qatar. Qualifying has officially started, and as you can already see, there is quite a weird thing happening right now, which is raining. I have no idea how, but it is currently raining here for qualifying in Qatar. I mean, it's in the Middle East, it's in the desert, so no idea how it is actually raining. And the weather is in dynamics, so I don't think there is an error. Hidden chance of seeing the rain. That's quite something. It is intermediate rain, but still rain nonetheless. Very weird to see around here. So yeah, we will have a wet qualifying, but hopefully the race will be dry. We can see Alex now, the first one to start the lap here today. Alex back to racing after quite a long break. I think his last race as a reserve in here was in Hungary, so about a month ago. Let me just turn down the volume a little bit so you can hear me better. Alright, so as I was saying, Alex is back reserving for the grid today. We also have Kevin from Division 2 joining us once again, every week reserving from Division 1. And also Pocho, one of the main drivers of Division 2 as well. Currently third in the Drivers' Championship. He is joining us today for the race as a reserve. Also, another thing to say, we already had a race here in Qatar. It was the test race, so pretty much the first race we had on the new game, and it was back in June, maybe very early July, as a test race, since the game came out some days before the race. So the drivers in here already have experience for this track, and we'll see if they still remember how to race here. But anyway, Alex sets 35.6 for the first lap of the session. No idea if that's good or not, because I have no idea how what target we're gonna see as a wet qualifying session, since we never had rain in Qatar. Second driver to complete the lap is now Kevin is actually starting. We got a Mercedes, and it is Jonathan. He will finish his first lap with a 36.5, so P2 for now. There is a Ferrari of Fabian, 36.3, takes P2. There is a Aston Martin of where is it? Valerie. Oh yeah, Valerie, 36.3. And Cat Racer, 34.9, sets provisional pole position, already with a very big gap from Alex from P2. Cat Racer still the championship leader in the driver, and Red Bull is still leading the Constructor Championship. Both Cat Racer and Jeremy are racing today, as well as their rival team, which is McLaren. Felix and Paco are also racing today. So, but looking at the standings, there is quite a gap of 25 points from Felix and Kart Racer. So, I mean, if Kart Racer retires and Felix wins the race, they're gonna be equal on points. But I don't think that will happen. Honestly, I think they will both finish the race in quite high positions. Bull. So lots of drivers on track right now. BlackBerry finishing his lap 36.8 is in P7 for now. So who hasn't set lap? Phantom, Nemesis, Paco and Felix, but they're all quite far from the finish line. Oh, Pocho right now with 36.1 is in P4. Oh no, wait, never mind. He's in the middle of a lap. Valerie gets to P2, 35.6, and Cat Racer improves the provisional pole position, 34.2. There is already a 1 second and 4 tenths of gap from P1 and P2. Already impressive stuff. But technically, we could see pretty much everyone take pole position in here, considering the wet qualifying session. And Pac with a 34.6. Wait, my controller is almost out of battery. I'm gonna charge it real quick. Sorry. Alright, so I'm back. Apologies for that inconvenience. Anyway, so we are 10 minutes in, and the only two drivers who haven't set up are Rudy and Jeremy. Felix is on the full wet tires. Maybe the rain is getting worse, but I don't think so. It still looks like Intus for me. Oh no, wait, the car looks very wet, but the rain falling doesn't look like wet tires. But I don't know. I haven't seen his improving from the first sector, so we wait for sector 2 to see if the wet tires are actually faster. So he's approaching the final corner of sector 2. Let's see, is he improving? No, he's down by 2 seconds, so maybe made a mistake, but I don't know, because the full wet still doesn't seem like the optimal tire for these conditions. Phantom about to finish his lap. 35.7 improves by 2 tenths and is in P9. Very close to Jonathan, very close to Alex, and was very close to BlackBerry, was very close to Valerie. Like from P5 to P9, they are all barely 2 tenths apart. Alex overtaking Felix, going to P4 with a 34.9. Paco starting the lap right now. Paco currently has a 4 tenth gap from pole position. He goes outside the track but still keeps the lap valid. Right now it looks like I don't know if it's my impression, but I think the rain is getting lighter. I don't see it quite as heavy now. Anyway, it looks like right now Nemesis and Paco are the only guys to be able to challenge for pole position. In the meanwhile, Alex is on a lap as well. Felix is still on the wet tires, he's still trying. Oh, he's improving by 40 in a moment, as Felix is approaching the last corner. So we'll see. Is the rain getting worse? Are the full wet tires faster? We'll see as Felix approaches the finish line with a 34.4, improving by 5 tenths, takes P3, and is only 2 tenths apart from Cat Racer. So yeah, he improved on his time, but Cat Racer has still set pole position. Oh, Paco, 33.2, already massive gap. Paco takes provisional pole position, improving by 1 second from Cat Racer. So what it means is that the track is drying up. the rain is getting lighter, so the later the drivers will set their time, the faster they will be, theoretically. I mean, we've also seen that in the real life qualifying today for Formula 1 in Zandvoort. Started in the rain, but the rain just kept getting lighter, so the later you settle up, the faster you'll be. And Fabian, we are 33.7. So yeah, Inters are still definitely the right tire to use. Although Felix is still trying with the full wets, I still don't understand why. Cat Racer cuts the line, but is down by 6 seconds. So he's not improving. And there is a McLaren approaching the finish line. Oh no, it's Felix pitting. But there is Paco. No, Paco is down in his time, he's pitting as well. So who's about to finish a lap? Rudy. Yeah, Rudy still hasn't set a lap time, so his first lap of the session with 5 minutes left to go. His first lap will be 33.2. He goes into P2, very close to Paco. So Rudy, another pole position contender here today. But Cat Racer still, I mean, want to watch with a P4, 33.7. Cat Racer definitely needs to improve on his time, since there is already more than a second gap from P1. And Kevin with a 33.5 takes P3. He's improving by 3 seconds. So the track is definitely drying up a lot quicker right now. As we see the times just improving and improving more each lap. Nemesis 32.5, the track is significantly getting faster right now. To be honest, I really didn't expect to see a wet qualifying session today, since it's Qatar. But it is drying up right now. Jeremy, the Red Bull driver, still hasn't set a single lap time, but he's about to start one right now with 4 minutes and 23 seconds to go. And maybe won't even be his only lap, because ideally the faster lap will be in the last minutes of the session, because the track is still drying up. So he's gonna have to set a lap right now, go into the pits, put on fresh inters, and then going for the definitive flying lap, because that will be the faster in the session. So right now Nemesis is on pole position 32.5 with a 7/10 gap from Paco, who is in the pits. Maybe he's changing the tires or the setup or something. Yeah, I think it's safe to say from the onboard here, the rain is lighter than before. Valerie is about to finish the lap. He's almost out of VRS. Approaching the final corner right now. Onto the straight. We'll see if he has improved enough, if the track has improved enough to take pole position. Goes to the finish line. No, he can't. 33.1. Improves by 0.3 Is in P3, but still quite far from the pole position. Alright, now Fabian 33.0. We currently have a Ferrari 1-2. Oh, never mind. Alex 32.3 sets the new fastest lap of the session. And Jeremy goes into P3, 32.6. We have 2 minutes and a half left in the session, so everyone must go back into the pits right now to put on fresh tires and set the definitive fast lap, since the track will be right now faster than ever, than it's ever been in this session. Felix is still on the full wet tires. No, maybe he's on inters now as he's exiting. It's still not letting me see. Oh yeah, he's on inters finally. So with 2 minutes to go, everyone will be setting their fast lap, the last lap of the session. Although Valerie isn't pushing, so maybe it's done. Yeah, I think Valerie is done. He's just doing the in lap right now. Fabian is definitely not pushing, down by 29 seconds. Jeremy isn't as well. What about Alex? No, I don't think. No, I think they're just doing a preparation lap, but it's not quite the out lap. Who's the closest to the finish right now? Rudy on the out lap. So now he approaches the starting line to start the last lap of the session. He was near pole position right now, so he's definitely a contender for the first place on the grid. There is a Ferrari starting, which is Fabian, and followed by a lot of cars. We got Alex starting, and then pretty much the entire field behind him. Rudy now approaching the end of sector 1. We'll see how much the track is improving, and it's improving by 3.5 tenths. Takes a purple first sector, so he's up to probably take pole position. What about Fabian? What will he do? He improved by only 2 tenths. Still an improvement, but maybe not quite enough. He's gonna have to gain in the other sectors as well. What about Alex, the provisional pole sitter? Improves by 4.5 tenths. Purple sector. And then we got all of the other drivers behind him. Cut Racer, what about Cut Racer? He's down into P10. Very far from pole position, but improves by 1 second. So he's definitely improving by a lot right now. Qualifying has ended, but we have the 3 minutes left so that everyone can finish the last lap. But approaching the finish line right now is the Williams of Rudy, improving by almost 1 second. We'll see, will he take pole position? He's onto the straight, has quite a lot of ERS left, I don't know how. But anyway, goes to the finish line, 31.9, improving by 1 second and 3 tenths. He takes provisional pole position for now. Fabian right now, still approaching the finish line with a 32.7, improves by only 3 tenths and is in P5. Alex is invalidated. That's qualifying done for Alex. There's an Aston Martin of Valerie, improving by 2 tenths. Approaches the line. And it's a 32.6 into P4. And Jeremy, 31.5. It is a pole position right now. He takes provisional pole position, but I think it is the definitive pole position right now, as pretty much everyone has cut across the finish line. Nemesis improving by 9 tenths. I think is the last guy to cut the finish line. And Paco 30.7, 3 tenths from Cut Racer. He takes pole position, and Nemesis cuts the finish line. That's qualifying done. Nemesis is into P3, and wow, what a qualifying session, I have to say. Still didn't expect to see the rain since it's Qatar, but the track was still drying up and everyone was on a very fast lap. But Paco from the McLaren takes pole position, with Cut Racer following into P2 with 3 tenths from him. The Nemesis into P3 and Jeremy in P4. Pocho, driver from Division 2, he's in P5 and Rudy P6. Phantom P7, Alex P8, Jonathan in P9 and Valerie P10. Kevin from Division 2, P11. Fabian in P12. Felix is in P13. His teammate is on pole position, but he's down on P13. His fastest lap is still on the wet tires. Blackberry is in P14, and that's the grid for the race today. So right now, I think it's safe to say that the race will be dry. I definitely hope so. The race will be dry. And there we go. It is dry. Although I would have expected to see full dry both through the qualifying and the race. I think this is this has been the first ever wet qualifying session we had in this season. But anyway, the drivers are setting up their strategies, and I also hope they're gonna have enough fuel to finish the race. In the test race in Division 2 we had quite a lot of drivers running out of fuel. Qatar does take a lot of fuel per lap. And about the tire strategies, I'm not sure about the tire strategies. We might see pretty much every strategies from soft hards to soft mediums, medium soft to medium hard. I think there is quite a lot of choice at this track, but it does put a lot of stress on the front tires since there are a lot of fast corners, fast speed, medium speed, even slow speed, but definitely most high speed corners. Puts a lot of work onto the front tires. So unless their tire strategy is good, they're gonna have to do some management if they don't wanna lose too much grip towards the end of their stint. But as I said, the compounds could be very different. But it is still loading right now. I hope it isn't a glitch or something. And there we go. The drivers are set. The 5 red lights are on. And it's lights out, and away we go for the Qatar Grand Prix here in Division 1. Felix already with a good start, taking front position. Paco defending the first position from Cat Racer. He's on to the lead. Nemesis going side by side with Cat Racer, but he stays in P3. And I think everyone's keeping it clean through turn 1 and 2. That's lovely to see, the two Aston Martin going side by side. Paco is still defending the first position. And Jeremy and Cat Racer overtaking Nemesis for P3. Now approaching the end of Sector 1. So the graphics showing the possible strategies. Oh, Kevin disconnected from the race, and there is a spin. The Alpine of Phantom Fox has spun. He has lost control out of turn 6. But Kevin has already disconnected. We already have the first disconnection of the race. But everyone is still in. Oh, and Jeremy approaching Paco at quite a fast pace. And same goes for Cat Racer being very close to his teammate. Will we see any overtakes onto the straight on lap 1? I don't think so, because the smartest thing to do at this track is wait for the DRS and then overtake. Also because the energy doesn't recover quite quickly on this track. But Jeremy has a look down the outside, and they're going side by side onto turn 1. Who's gonna stay ahead between Paco and Jeremy? They're going side by side to turn 2. There's a little bit of contact, but they keep it on track. Paco stays ahead, but Jeremy is not giving up. He's fighting. He goes down the inside. They still go side by side. And Paco, and there's a bit of contact. And there is a spin between Paco and Jeremy, and there is a track. There is being some contact. But now Cat Racer and Nemesis are side by side, approaching the first corners of Sector 2. Cat Racer staying very close to the grid box of Nemesis. But that contact between Jeremy and Paco, I think it will be looked at by the stewards. It was a clean battling for a few seconds, but then they just didn't manage to avoid contact. Roddy right now is approaching Cat Racer very quickly. Kevin has rejoined the session. That's lovely to see. We're about to finish lap 2 right now. So as Nemesis will cut the finish line, we will have DRS enabled for the race. So we will see the pop-up on top of the screen. Felix taking the fastest lap for now. But we are on to lap 3. And there we go, DRS is enabled. Nemesis is trying to get away from Cat Racer as fast as he can, but Rudy is still staying very close to Cat Racer. Same goes for Felix, and same goes for Pocho. So we got pretty much a 5-car train. The top 5 are all very close to each other. They're between 2 tenths pretty much. Also, let's check the tires. I still haven't seen it. There you go. Okay, so it's all medium and hard. I don't know if the medium runners are gonna do the medium soft or medium hard, but I do think that the hard runners. So now Cat Racer is still following Nemesis for the lead. They are approaching the last corner now, so we will see the first overtake with the DRS onto the extremely long straight. The DRS is so powerful through this straight. As Cat Racer opens his rear wing and he goes side by side with the DRS, he even takes the fastest lap and he gets the move done. He is now leading the race with Nemesis in P2. Oh, and there's Pocho! Pocho is out of the track, he has no front wing. There have been some contact with Pocho and another driver which I don't know, but Pocho has had a crash, I don't know with which other driver, but he is without front wing. And he's gonna lose so much time right now. And that's unfortunate to see. I think he had the pace to be up to the front. He was in P5. He even won the race in Division 2, the test race. So he definitely wasn't out of the contention, and that's unfortunate to see. But now going back to the lead of the race, with Cat Racer now into P1 and Nemesis following 7 tenths apart, now 8 tenths. He is still into the DRS zone. He's hoping to keep the pace, keep that momentum to still have the DRS and pretty much exchange position for the entirety of the race. Fabian right now with a 3-second time penalty. The first penalty of this race, Qatar, it is very easy to go off track and get a track limits warning. But right now it is only Fabian with a 3-second time penalty. Now Nemesis opening his rear wing with DRS. Still quite doesn't get close enough to Cat Racer, so he might have had some higher downforce, I don't know, or maybe he was using Cat Racer, maybe he was using ERS, I don't know. Right now the telemetry is enabled, so we will see. But there is already quite a gap from P2 and all of the guys from Alex and going down. Felix is staying very close to Alex. He is also on the fastest side, the medium tires. A bit of a rear lock in there, but he keeps it on track, but has lost quite some time. Fabian right now approaching Felix. I don't think he's gonna overtake right now. He's gonna have to wait for the ERS. That's pretty much the smartest thing to do at this track if you wanna overtake someone. Blackberry is also staying very close to Fabian. We got a very big train going from Felix to Paco. Paco and Jeremy, after their contact, they still aren't recovering as much. Fabian gets another penalty where Blackberry gets his first track limits penalty. Nemesis is going on to the DRS straight once again. We'll see if he recovers time. It looks like it, but not so much. None of them are using ERS, so Nemesis indeed has a setup with more downforce. Blackberry, I think Blackberry overtook Fabian right now. Blackberry, Fabian and Rudy staying very close to each other through turn 3. And there are quite a lot of drivers following from them. But right now, the guys that pretty much are out of contention, unless there is a safety car, are... oh, yellow flag, someone spun! Rudy! Rudy spun! He spun after turn 6, he lost a lot of time! And that's great news from Phantom Fox if he wanna recover some time to get P10, maybe to save just a little point from this race. But Rudy has lost quite a lot of time and it is unfortunate. Oh, Cat Racer, 3-second time penalty. The race leader right now has a penalty. So Nemesis is effectively leading the race right now. So it would be wise for him to not push as much as he did right now into the 6 laps, just so that he keeps the car on track, doesn't get any track limits penalties, and if he manages to stay into the DRS zone, just staying close enough to him, he might take the race win. They are also on the same strategy. So right now what Nemesis needs to do is to keep it consistent, staying close to Cat Racer, staying into the DRS zone, and he will challenge for the win. Pocho right now with a 3-second time penalty. Pocho breaking his front wing, is now onto last position. Now Alex, even Alex has a 3-second time penalty. We're already seeing quite a lot of penalties onto the 7th lap of the race, and that just goes to show how easy it is to go off track here in Qatar. In Qatar, if you stay consistent, just keeping the car on track and not making mistakes, not losing the car, both out of slow corners and fast corners, it is quite easy if you don't have the right setup. Just keeping the car on track and not getting any penalties, and stay close to the drivers in front of you. Then the consistency will reward you with a good result. Nemesis is still with the DRS, approaching Cat Racer, but still not quite enough to overtake him. I've seen him weaving maybe to heat up the tires, but Felix are now overtaking Alex. Felix doesn't have any penalty. He will be hoping to keep it that way for the entirety of the race. And right now, with 7 laps already done, the mediums might actually become slower than the hards. A bit of a screen freeze there. I don't know if it was only just me. Paco and Valerie overtook each other. I think I've seen them battling a little bit. Paco is recovering. That's nice to see. But Jeremy is recovering even more. He's in P7 and staying very close to the Ferrari of Fabian. Pocho sets the fastest lap with a 24.8. So yeah, right now it looks like that the only battling is pretty much in the midfield. Jeremy and Fabian, I think, are the fastest, the closest guys, the closest drivers to each other. But still, Fabian, Blackberry and Alex, now even Rudy with the penalties. Let's see how many penalties are there. So 3-second time penalty for Cat Racer, Alex, Blackberry and Pocho, and 6 seconds for Rudy and Fabian. Right now Jeremy doesn't have to overtake, he just has to stay close, but I mean he's gonna have to be that way for 20 more laps, and there are a lot of more things that can happen. Now Pocho as well with another 3-second time penalty. Now it looks like Nemesis is getting close to Cat Racer, but Cat Racer knows that he needs to push quite a lot if he wants to defend that P1 to win the race, since 5/10 are not gonna do the trick. He's gonna lose that position if the gap stays like this. So he's gonna have to push to make the gap bigger, and also hope that Nemesis is gonna go outside of check limits and get a penalty as well. But if Nemesis is smart enough, he will just keep inconsistent through the remaining laps. And he's doing that for now. Let's see the race director. Let's see how many warnings he has, if he has any. Okay, so Nemesis has 1 warning. And I think that's it. Yeah, Nemesis only has 1 warning, so he can take it pretty comfortably right now, knowing that he is effectively leading the race. So let's watch the middle pack again, going from Blackberry to Paco. Maybe even Rudy, but Rudy is a 3-second. Oh, Pocho! Oh, never mind. Pocho retired in the pit lane. He just decided that it wasn't worth continuing the race. Paco is 9/10 from Valerie. So we got the DRS train through the midfield pack. But I am seeing quite some drivers using a bit of too much ERS. ERS recovers very slowly in Qatar, so maybe not the smartest of moves. Oh, Nemesis with the DRS. He's getting closer to Cat Racer. He's actually gonna overtake him now. Nemesis is leading the racer now, overtaking Cat Racer at the end of the straight. And there is the AI of Pocho, which is still retiring. And that's weird. Yeah, he is making space for the other drivers. And yeah, he is stopping, so that's all good. But right now, Nemesis is literally leading the race, overtaken with the DRS. And Cat Racer is gonna have to, yes, is gonna have to gain the position back, but that's still not gonna do anything if the penalties situations take this. Oh, very big screen visitors right now. Yeah, Pocho left the session. That caused quite a big screen freeze to the session. So right now, out of 13 drivers, only 5 of them have track limits penalties, and we will be hoping to seeing that stays like this. It's very easy to get penalties around here, so I hope we don't get to see any more many. But Cat Racer right now is getting the lead back. He took the position back at the straight, and now Alex is very close to Felix after the straight. Felix has used a lot of ERS, so and the mediums are now quite lower than the hard tires, so it doesn't have quite the base to defend like this. He's still trying to defend the line. Now Phantom, again, another driver to have track limit penalties. And Kevin is 3 seconds and 7/10 away from Phantom Fox. So right now Phantom will be hoping that Kevin doesn't recover as much time if we want to keep that P10 to gain that just one position, 1 point. Nemesis is 7/10 apart from Cat Racer, so he is losing some time normally, but he's gonna recover right now with the DRS, just so that he stays close enough to... Oh, Felix is pitting! Felix and Blackberry, the first medium runners to go into the pits and change tires. We are seeing the first strategic pit stops here. Felix is on the hard tires, and same goes for Blackberry. So we are seeing medium hard or hard medium in this race. So I don't see we're gonna see any soft runners. So right now Paco also has the medium tire, so he's gonna have to pit. I think this lap, since Felix has pitted in this lap, I mean in the previous double stack in the lap before. So maybe we'll see Paco into the pits in this lap, and the hard runners maybe in 1 or 2 laps. So the situation for the lead is still staying the same. same. Cat Racer using a little bit of ERS just to extend the gap, but Nemesis is using DRS just to stay within that 3-second gap. Oh, there we go. Paco is now pitting. So McLaren is done with the pit stop. Oh, Paco is on soft. Paco is doing medium soft. Okay, so that's interesting. So he's gonna hope to recover more position right now in the earlier laps of his stint, but he's gonna lose quite some time through the end. Jeremy set the fastest lap, 24.2, but he is in P12, so quite behind the group. But yeah, he even pitted, so yeah, all of the guys from P8 and upwards still have to pit. Maybe even Jonathan has to. But yeah, I think we see Jeremy going a little bit up with the position. What about the front runners? Will the pit now? Cat Racer does. Cat Racer is into the pits. So we will see what size he's gonna put. The mediums. Cat Racer is doing hardy mediums. So quite a standard strategy. But I am curious to see if the soft of Paco will pay off. I'm curious to see if they will gain him enough time. So Nemesis right now is leading the race with a 4.5-second gap to Alex. And ideally he will pit in this lap if he wants to stay behind Cat Racer and put the mediums. So if he wants to win, that's the ideal pit stop to do. So we're staying on board with Valerie now. He is into P4. He hasn't any penalties, so he is effectively overtaking Fabian right now. He's into P3. But yeah, he's gonna drop down the position with the pit stop. And we'll see Cat Racer leading the group once again. Nemesis is indeed pitting right now, so that he can stay as close as possible to Cat Racer. And he's in hardy medium for the Ferrari too. Fabian is pitching as well, so double stack for Ferrari. Kevin gets a 3-second time penalty, first penalty of the session for him. Okay, so the double stack for Ferrari has gone successful. And it is hard mediums for the Ferrari too. Valerie is pitching as well, going from hard to mediums as well. So Nemesis is exiting the pit right now. Paco sets the fastest lap with the soft tires, 23.8. Nemesis actually has dropped down. He is out of the DRS zone. And that's quite a lot. So the undercut from Cat Racer has worked perfectly. So Nemesis isn't gonna be able to use DRS, but if he has the pace to stay close to Cat Racer and just staying consistent for the 14 more laps, he's still gonna be able to take the win. But we'll see how that goes. The two Williams drivers are leading right now, but they're gonna have to pit very soon. Alex stays out, so maybe Rudy with another 3-second penalty. Rudy pits indeed, and I think we will see another hard mediums. Fabian, another 3-second penalty. That's, I think, 9 seconds for the Ferrari driver. Indeed, hard mediums for the Williams. Cat Racer set the fastest lap again, 23.5 with the mediums. So So maybe Paco isn't using the soft tires as much as he could. Rudy exiting the pit lane just ahead of Valerie and Fabian. We also got Phantom and Kevin exiting the pit lane. Kevin is on the soft. Paco and Kevin are actually attempting a soft strategy. So we'll see if they are gonna be able to manage the tire wear towards the end of the stint. So Alex is approaching the pit lane now. Yes, he is pitting indeed. So Cat Racer will be back to leading the race with Nemesis following him very close. Hopefully staying within the 3-second gap. So Alex with the hard tires, I think we will see the mediums for him as well. No, it's actually soft. He's doing hard soft. We got 3 drivers attempting the soft tires for the late stint. And with 11 laps to go, I think that's possible to do. Maybe the soft won't wear as much, and maybe he can gain some time from that. So I think everyone has done the pit stop right now. Yeah, 1 stop for everyone. So we are back with the normal position, with Nemesis still following Kart Racer and still pretty much leading the race. Let me see the race director if he got another track limits warning. So he got the one from lap 2. Oh, he has 2 warnings right now. So Nemesis must be very careful to not go outside of track limits again, because if he does, that's pretty much his chance to win the race over. So maybe we're seeing going a little bit more careful right now, not pushing as much. They are even same on ERS and pretty much equal on race pace as well. Nemesis is not losing. I think he's not losing time at all. He's keeping the gap consistent. So right now the only thing he needs to do is to get sure he doesn't go outside the track again, because if he does just one more time, that's his chance over to win the race. We got a bit of chasing down the bottom grid. Bahrain staying close to Fabian and Rudy, is in pretty much P8 right now. Maybe he won't quite overtake them on track, but he's still hoping to stay closer. Yeah, Qatar is pretty much a penalty race. Just making sure you don't get any penalties and taking advantage from the drivers in front of you actually getting track limits penalties. So just staying close to them in front, just so that you can gain more positions. So Jeremy and Paco, the guys that were involved in the crash, I mean in the spin, because they didn't get any damage luckily. Paco has recovered quite a lot. I don't know if it's because of the soft tires or because of just pure pace, but Paco is recovering quite a lot more than Jeremy is. In the meanwhile, Valerie got his first 3-second time penalty, so he's gonna have to overtake on track if he wants to get more points than that. But right here at the front, the situation is still the same. Nemesis still staying very close to Cat Racer, and we have 10 laps to go right now. 10 laps to see if Nemesis... Oh, Cat Racer, another 3-second time penalty! So he's up to 6 seconds right now. There we go. 6-second time penalty for Cat Racer. So Nemesis Nemesis pretty much has the race win in his pocket, unless he gets another penalty. Oh, Jonathan sets the fastest lap, 23.333 with the medium tires. I was saying Nemesis right now pretty much has the race win in his pocket. He has it in his hand. So Kart Racer just made the things even more easy for Nemesis. And Kart Racer will drop down to Paco is pitting. Never mind, I was saying that Paco could have recovered even more with the Kart Racer penalty, but never mind, he's pitting and he goes from soft to mediums, so he's doing a two-stop strategy. So maybe the soft tires are maybe they had a little more wear than he predicted. But no, that seems weird, because I didn't see him doing a lot of laps on the soft tire. I think he could have held on a little bit more. Anyway, going back to the midfield, we got a fight from P9 to P5, unless obviously we don't consider penalties. Jeremy got a little bit of track now. I don't know why. Maybe he spun or locked up. Or there's a Ferrari, Fabian. Oh, Fabian going very wide. He just fully locked up. He's destroyed his front wing. Oh, and there's a safety car. We got a full course safety car on lap 21. Fabian just going straight after the corner, breaking his front wing and just going slowly. He caused the safety car. And that changes everything right now. We're gonna have 8 laps of racing. I mean, maybe even 6 laps of racing with the safety car. So everyone is pitting right now to put the soft tires. Fabian causing the safety car. And the situation has pretty much changed entirely. And that is also some very bad news for the guys with penalties, because the gaps will just be so little after the safety car. Interestingly enough, not everyone is going on the soft. We are also seeing some medium runners. So this safety car, it is very bad news for Kat. He would have won the race anyway if he just kept the consistency he already showed for 22 laps, but that's even more excellent news for him. So even if he gets overtaken by Kart Racer, by Felix, by Alex, Nemesis still has a very high chance of winning the race here in Qatar, and that is lovely for him to hear. So we got the grid catching up. Jonathan will be the last up to the last one to catch up to the queue. Jonathan, I pretty much haven't seen him at all in this race. He's just been outside the top 10, not doing anything pretty much. That's unfortunate, but that's also a chance for him to recover with the safety cars. Fabian with a 12-second time penalty, Phantom with 6 and Kevin with 3. So maybe Jonathan, even with the 3 second, maybe he still has a chance to recover some positions and go through to the top 10. But he's on the mediums, interestingly. Oh, he's on all mediums. Okay, so right now he's pitting. So he's pitting only in this lap. And I think he will put the soft. But Paco and Kart Racer are on the mediums. There we go, fresh soft for Jonathan. He will catch up to the queue, and on lap 23 we will resume racing. So we will have 7 laps of racing after the safety car comes into the pit. And also, I hate to say it, but we will definitely see some on-track battle after the safety car comes in and the green flag is waved. We will see on-track battles, but the result just will change entirely, because we will see all of the position going up and down with the penalty. Maybe even a post-race steward decision, probably about the Jeremy and Paco contact. Jeremy and Paco also. Nemesis, Jeremy and Paco are the only guys to not have penalties. So that's great news for them. And Paco will be hoping to get on the podium actually. I don't know if I can say the same for Jeremy. But anyway, safety car indeed is in this lap. Nemesis will lead the group, the race leader and pretty much the race winner. I hope he wins the race, because he's done an excellent job until now. Very good qualifying and very good race pace and consistency. He's slowing down a lot. He's taking all of the time necessary to get the best start possible. He wants to stay focused, and he wants to find the optimal spot just so the kart racer doesn't get the good start. But anyway, Nemesis is starting right now. Nemesis has restarted the race. He is using ERS, and the drivers cut the finish line and the green flags are waved. We are racing again. There are some overtakes right now with Alex and Paco going side by side through turn 1, and they still keep it clean for now. Alex stays in P4, but Paco is not giving up. He's going down the inside. Oh, there was almost some contact with the Williams. He's dropped down a position more. Will he try that now down the outside? No, he doesn't. Oh, there's a spin. Fabian spun. Fabian, and that's pretty much his chance over to. I mean, he already didn't have a lot of chance to score points, but anyway, I'm hearing some awful audio glitch. Yeah, that's quite the glitch, the state of the art of the new game. But anyway, Nemesis has had a very good start. He is 8 tenths from Kart Racer, but it still doesn't matter how many tenths they are apart, since the 6-second penalties from Kart Racer. Nemesis is using a lot of energy right now. Takes the fastest lap provisionally, and I think, because the slipstream is just for everyone right now. But Nemesis is doing a very good job going away from Kart Racer. He just needs to stay careful, to be careful to not go outside of track limits just one time, because if he does that, he may be fine with 3 seconds. But even with 6 seconds, I think he's showing quite a lot of pace to stay ahead of Kart Racer. He's doing an excellent job in this race. Phantom with another 3-second time penalty. So that's good news for Jonathan if he wants to recover anything. So right now Paco, while attempting the overtake from the lap before, has lost quite some time and has dropped down the Williams. He will still recover because of penalties, but we never know. We will never know if he gets another penalties in the remaining 4 laps. And DRS is now enabled. We're gonna have 4 laps of racing with DRS enabled. We may be seeing some some position swapping with DRS between Nemesis and Car Tracer, maybe even with Felix and Alex and pretty much everyone. They're all within the 1 second gap, but mainly between Nemesis and Car Tracer fighting for the race lead. We might still see it, but that won't matter if Nemesis still doesn't get any penalties and goes to win the race. He just needs to do what he did until now for this lap and 3 more laps, and he will take home the win after a fantastic drive. I have to say hats off to him. So now I'm thinking about the constructor standings. Well, I mean, never mind. I can't seem to do the math right now to understand what position will Jeremy be, what position will Car Tracer be. Anyway, we're seeing quite a change of line through the straight. Everyone going for the slipstream. Car Tracer is overtaking Nemesis with the DRS, but the still won't matter. Nemesis is even on the faster tire. So Nemesis pretty much has everything in its power to be ahead of Car Tracer. Maybe he's just out of ERS and but anyway, even if Car Tracer uses all of his energy in the remaining laps, that still won't change anything, I think. Felix is chasing Nemesis. Maybe he will overtake him, but Nemesis still hasn't got any penalty. So even if he does, the position will stay in favor of Nemesis. Rudy, with another 3-second time penalty, is now up to 12. And that's excellent news for Paco and Jeremy and everyone, pretty much. On Paco, 3-second time penalty, that's his first penalty of the race, and that's unfortunate. And now he lost time, and maybe he will lose positions. Oh, and there's a contact! Jeremy just rear-ended him. I mean, Paco survived, he has no front wing, the car survived, I don't know how, but yeah, that definitely looked very suspicious. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was Paco brake testing or Jeremy just going straight into him, but I have no idea what happened there. Luckily we won't have a safety car since it's only 2 laps left. Yeah, but Paco just losing so many points for the McLaren team. That's unfortunate. In the meanwhile, Felix and Alex are still fighting for the last place of the podium, but right now Felix is in 3rd position, I think. Maybe even in 2nd place. Yeah, he will be 2nd with the 6 seconds from Car Tracer. But anyway, Car Tracer now is at the last corner. He is onto the straight. Nemesis is opening DRS, and we are starting the last lap of the session. Nemesis right now is gonna do everything in his power to take the win. Alex overtakes him down the straight with the DRS, but that doesn't matter. Nemesis is still about to win the race. Alex and Car Tracer are legitimately fighting for position with being equal on penalties, but Nemesis just needs to keep it clean and defend from any move that Felix may attempt to overtake. Oh, Alex spun! Alex spun! I don't know what happened there, maybe rear locking or spinning, I don't know, but yeah, Alex just losing so many positions. Oh, Felix is going side by side with Nemesis. Oh no! Oh, Nemesis! 3-second time penalty! Oh no! So right now Nemesis, to win the race, needs to overtake Felix on the last lap. He takes the penalty. That's so unfortunate. So right now he's into P2. He's gonna have to overtake Felix if he wants to win the race. I don't know, maybe he may be looked by the stewards since it looked like Felix pushed him off track and didn't give him much of a choice. We'll see if he opens the DRS now. We'll see if he gets past him. Felix won't be using DRS. Approaching the finish line now. And he doesn't. Oh, Jeremy! Jeremy is actually winning the race! Wait, what? How is Jeremy winning? What? I don't know what happened there, because I was just... Well, the graphics was showing Felix winning the race. With Nemesis following, but how did Jeremy get up to P1? I mean, was it because of penalties? So Jeremy just won the race with the penalties from the guys ahead. I get it that Jeremy didn't have any penalties at all. But I don't know, I didn't think that the gap was so close that Jeremy could recover up to P1. So right now, as it stands right now, for what the game says right now, Jeremy has won the race with Felix in P2 and Nemesis in P3, but I think we will see some post-race steward's decision. The driver of the day was Felix, but I will give it to Nemesis, honestly. And I don't know if Nemesis just went off track on its own or because Felix gave him no space. But I guess it will be looked at by the stewards post-race. So as it stands right now, Jeremy is the only driver to not get any penalties, winning the race with Felix in P2 and Nemesis in P3 with the fastest lap. Cat Racer in P4 and Blackberry in P5, Valerie P6, Kevin P7, Jonathan P8, Alex P9 and Phantom takes the last point in P10. Paco, with what could have been a great race, has dropped down to P11. Rudy in P12, Fabian in P13 and Pocho in P14. And that's it. That's the, I would say, provisional results for the Qatar race here in Division 1 tonight. And we'll just see how it goes in the following days. In the meanwhile, we will see each other again on Wednesday with the race in Division 2, which will be commentated by Felix. And it's going to be in Spain at the circuit of Barcelona, Catalonia. It's going to be on Wednesday for Division 2 and on Saturday for Division 1. So we will see you next week and have a good one.